Hey guys, I'm Luis Chantry. I'll be your teacher today. So let's get going. I hope you're excited as I am because today we're going to talk about the incredible world of phrasal verbs. I know this title can be a little scary or some people are afraid of using phrasal verbs. It's just something to deal with because it's part of the learning process anyway. Combination of two words or more formed by a verb and a preposition or a verb and an adverb, for example. Put on, look after, run into, pick up are examples of phrasal verbs that we use in daily life, like waking up in the morning, right? It's interesting to note that despite being derived from the same verb, phrasal verbs have different meanings according to the preposition or to the adverb that accompanies them. For example, give up and give off have totally different meanings, but when written down on paper, they can be similar enough to look like they are completely opposites, which is not the case. I always say that the best way to learn phrasal verbs is through context, and also recommend that you try to learn as much as possible naturally. That is, not making huge and endless lists with phrasal verbs and trying to memorize all of them, but using them in different contexts, which will help you to really develop the learning process. It's not going to work for a million reasons if you make huge lists, but especially because there are many phrasal verbs in English. It's kind of impossible, right? So you know that phrasal verbs, they consist of a verb and a particle, usually a preposition or an adverb. So let's start. The first thing that you need to do or to know is that a phrasal verb, it can be separable or inseparable. But what does that really mean, right? Let's see some examples. As you saw at the beginning of the video, the phrasal verb is made up of two or even more words. For example, pick up has two words, picking up. We can use pick up, separating them or using them together. Let's see. Can you pick up dad at the mall? Is a way that we can say pick up dad. Or can you pick dad up at the mall? Both of them have the same meaning and you can use either with the same meaning, okay? On the other hand, there are those phrasal verbs that we cannot separate, that they cause misunderstanding. They are the inseparable phrasal verbs. The phrase, you almost ran into a car, separating ran into is wrong, doesn't make any sense. You cannot say you ran or you almost ran a car into, okay? This is wrong because ran into is not separable. And how you know this and other rules, not how you know, don't worry about trying to memorize the rules. Try to practice them in different contexts. Let's see some examples of separable and inseparable phrasal verbs. She put away her toys. So here we have put and away. She put her toys away, or she put away her toys. Both have the same meaning and they are okay to be used. These are examples of separable. Let's see some examples of separable or inseparable phrasal verbs. We have this sentence, she put away her toys. The phrasal verb put is side by side with the adverb away when explaining what this little girl did. She put her toys away. Now the phrasal verb put has the subject her toys between away and the sentence has the same meaning. So are these examples of separable or inseparable phrasal verbs? That's right, separable phrasal verbs. Another example, they will look after the dog. The phrasal verb to look is side by side with the preposition after, and it explains who is going to take care of the dog. But they will look the dog after doesn't exist or doesn't make any sense. So in this case, we have an inseparable phrasal verb example. It's time for you to pick up your vocabulary notebook, pick up another one, the one you only write vocabulary on and not grammar or rules, and write down the next examples. Yes, we're gonna have a writing exercise now. Okay, so take your notebook and let's practice a little bit. Some phrasal verbs, I'm gonna dictate them and you write them down, okay? So look up. I need to look up at the definition of this word. Take off. The plane is about to take off, to put on. Don't forget to put on your jacket before going outside. It's cold. Put on your jacket. Give up. He didn't want to continue, so he gave up. Turn off. Please remember to turn off the lights when you leave the room. Run out of. We ran out of milk, so I needed to go to the grocery store. Break up. They decided to break up after a long relationship. That's very sad. They broke up. Get along. Bianca and I, we don't get along very well. Bring up. She brought up an interesting point during the meeting. To bring up a point. To set up. They set up a new business in the city. Look forward to. I'm looking forward to my vacations next week. To take out. Hey John, can you take out the trash please? Put off. They decided to put off the meeting until next week. To put off. To give in. After a lot of persuasion, she finally gave in and agreed to go. Turn on. He turned on the TV to watch his favorite show. Run into. I ran into my friend at the grocery store yesterday. I met her by accident. I ran into her. Break down. The car broke down on the way to work. I had to call for the mechanic. Get over. It took her some time to get over her illness. Now she's way better. To bring back. This song brings back memories of my childhood. Settle down. After traveling for many years, he decided to settle down, to relax in a small town. Hey, many examples, right? I'm pretty sure you understood from context what these last sentences mean and can easily identify if they are separable or inseparable phrasal verbs. But the only way to really understand is studying, listening, practicing, and doing your homework on time. So don't forget to practice using the phrasal verbs you like the most and the ones that you have just learned. I hope you've enjoyed learning. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the little bell at the bottom so you know when we have new videos. And see you in the next video.